see what comes in it? You got wheel kits. This one goes on top of the machine. This is when you want to use the machine to get in and out of a truck or a car. It just helps you do it with one hand, and an individual can do it instead of two people. These are locking cords. I'm going to show you more about them. You get two of these. And these are some parts you're going to need. This is for your dirty water hose. Fits on a garden hose. This one right here fits on a garden hose as well, but this is for your clean water. So you can just have two garden hoses designated for these two. And we're gonna need this one to replace the one that comes on the vacuum hose with the machine. So this is how you get it, and this is how you take it off. You go clockwise, comes off. And then you take this, one end goes to the machine, the other end connects here. So you go like this, and you screw it on, counterclockwise. There it goes. All right, to take it out, you want to put it the wheel side that's going to go down. You're going to just lay it on the side, the wheel side down, and then there's a handle right here. You just pull the machine out. Pull it out, it's going to stand up. Take the cover off. All right, here we go. So let's start with the garden hose part first. For your fresh water, you probably want to get good quality hose like this. For the wastewater, it doesn't matter, just whatever works. This one is heavy duty, made for professionals, so I'm going to use this, but you can use anything. So anyway, here is the part that the fitting is so far. See that part? It's a female garden hose that plugs on here. And then this part is your inlet. This is where the incoming water is. And that plugs in right here. Like that. And this end plugs into a garden hose. Make sure when you plug this end in that the garden hose is open all the way. If it's not open all the way, it'll starve the machine of water, and then you may have pressure issues. And then also make sure it's not kinked up. That's why I was saying it's important to have a good quality in the inlet, because if this gets crushed, so like this is really literally hard, I can't even press it. If this gets crushed, then it's going to limit the amount of water, even if it has kinks in it. So be aware of that. All right, so the water comes in, and this is where it goes next. Comes through there, and it comes through here, and this guy right here shuts it off, and then it'll maintain it. It'll just keep it full, and the machine feeds off of here from that filter down at the very bottom. Let me put some more light on there so you can see right in the center. That filter is where the water goes in from there into the pressure pump inside. Now I'm going to show you the pressure pump inside. So that hose coming from the middle is this hose. It goes in and it goes into the inlet of the pressure pump, this pump. Now when it goes into the pump, it gets pressurized. You can control it from this regulator. You can see the pressure on this, and the water comes out of here. And it also has a recirculation, which is just for safety and for priming, which is controlled by that. So the water is moving through all of those components. And just common sense on the mighty machines, when you're using the water, since the pressure gauge is getting the moving water, if the water stops moving, then it'll read the correct pressure, because that's shooting into it and it can recognize the pressure. But when you're using the water, this isn't going to be accurate. So this is only accurate when you let go of the trigger. And this machine is 800 PSI, so it may go over 800, but don't exceed 800. The water comes out, then this is the last point it comes out from. If you're having pressure problems, you start with the incoming water from the garden hose. Go in here, in that one, inside into the fresh water to see if the water is in there and it's working, functioning correctly. And then you can glance at this to see if there's water coming in through here, going into the pump. And then after the pump, it's going to go into these things, and you're going to just double check to make sure that it's coming out of here. Once it's coming out of here, there could be another problem in your solution line or your wand filter or the jets on the filter. So that's the water part. Now let's talk about your power. So you got power cord here, and this is where all the problems start. Some people say, oh, our switches go bad. The reason switches go bad is because of this typically. This one right here goes in the wall, or it goes in the generator, whatever you want to use, but just a regular 110. But what happens when you're working, it starts walking out. When it starts walking out, it's going to start arcing. And this end is supposed to be locked. So let me show you how the lock works. You see that? That's going to match this guy right here. It goes in like that, and then you turn it. There you go. And if you pull it, you can see it's locked into place. So both have to be connected. It says if you ever have any burn marks here, any burn marks inside, any burnt wires, don't continue using it. If you continue using it, things are going to start going bad. And I'll tell you what happens. If you come in here, I'll show you the electric part. So in here, you can see the power is coming from there. The first thing it goes into is this right here. Can you see that? That is a circuit locator. That's the one that tells you you're on two separate circuits. After it goes in there, it goes into the relay. Then it goes into the switches. Before it enters all these things, the switches are the last place it goes to. So if the switch goes bad, usually it's going bad because you neglected that, things behind the switch, and now the switch has gone bad, and usually the motors and the pump will go bad after. You get a solution line with your package, or you may have some laying around. And what you're going to do is the end that plugs in, this is the outlet of the Vortex Lite. So this end, you're going to have this, and usually if you get it from us, it's already installed, right? So this plugs into here. And then the other end will typically have a shutoff right there with this female on there. And then this hooks up to your wand, and you have to put this on open. It's open when it's parallel like that. When it's 90 degrees, it's shut off, so you know. So when you start cleaning, you want to open that up. So this part with the solution line will be connected onto the wand like here. Sometimes the jets down here have filters on them. Sometimes the filter is up here on top. And that can also affect how the machine functions. Water comes out of the jets, it shoots it onto the carpet, and then it gets extracted here, it gets sucked in. And let me show you what happens once it gets sucked in. It comes from the vacuum hose into this. So the water and the dirt drops in there. And you notice how this is angled a little? This needs to be at about 3 o'clock at least, but maybe between 3 and 5, usually the best position. So like the way it is now, it's great because that's what creates the vortex. And then the dirty water, the dirt, and all the stuff that can fall down, falls down there. The rest of the stuff, the air and the foam, will go through here, and it goes into your motors, and it goes through the motors. Let me show you how that happens. This is where the vacuum is coming from, that big tube that you saw in there, the white one, with the filter on top. It goes in through here, goes into the first motor, goes into the second motor, and it exhausts out the back. Now the rest of it stays in the tank. The dirty water falls down there, and it stays in there. And if you look down there at the very bottom, it'll have a filter. Let me get that filter out. It's this thing. So when you're done, your first job or whatever, when you're done, just look at this thing. End of the day, look at this. This has to be clean. You should clean this every day. And down at the bottom is a tower filter. This is basically on a screw, but don't unscrew it from the top because then it might break into two pieces. Screw it from the bottom, and it's just like a screw. Counterclockwise takes it out, clockwise tightens it. And then check this one once a week just to make sure it's not clogged up, because what's happening is as the water falls in here, it goes in through that and this, and it goes through the waste pump out. Let me show you the waste pump out now. This right here is your waste pump out. So the dirty water from the waste tank is coming through that hose, and it's going into this. And then it's going out to the front, and it's coming out of this. And over here, you'd notice that it has this nipple. This is what that fitting that I showed you in the beginning fits on. This fitting, this is what fits on the garden hose, and then The other end fits on here. And you can just leave this on the garden hose. And then when you're using it, go ahead, turn this on. That's on, and this is off. Okay, so that's on. And then over here, this is the pump out button. So when you press this, this starts the waste pump out, and it'll automatically pump out the water from here. So daily, what you gotta do is keep this clean. There's not much maintenance on this machine. It's just mostly things that require common sense. For example, you're gonna use the machine, it's gonna have the air go through the filter. And if you can see in that filter has that stainless steel down there, make sure that's intact, because if that comes undone, it'll get sucked into the motor, right? And then this is the one you need to clean every day. And you don't want to put water on this because this is going to the motor, right? So just clean it and put it back. A little bit of water is okay, but not too much. And then at the end of the day, if you want to suck out the water from here, or if you want to just grab a garden hose, you can just run it around the perimeter and then drain it like this. Up front here, you can lift this up. This is for the waste tank, and tilt the machine forward a little bit. That will completely empty it. And then at night, if it's just you, not employees, just leave it open like this, because the air, having it breathe, will keep it from mold, mildewing, and smelling. So, see these things right there? These are basically your shutoffs, but both cords have their own shutoffs. So that way, if one is not working, you can always use the other one. So that's your waste tank. So this here is your prime. This has to be closed when you're working. If you have this open, then it's just bypassing the water right back into the freshwater tank. So this is used only for priming. You can just put it in like for 15 seconds and put it back. When you put it back, you'll notice that the water noise is going to be more steady. It's not going to be, it's going to be like that. You know, it's more of a constant noise. That means the pressure is there. But even if you're unsure, you can always just put it here for 15 seconds and then ready to clean, just put it back that way. Make sure this is closed. Otherwise, you're going to be like, hey, I'm not getting a vacuum. So here are the switches. This is vac 1, this is vac 2. This is your pressure pump, and this is your waste pump out. On the pressure pump, when you're cleaning, say, furniture, you want it 200. So you just turn this down to 200. With that, counterclockwise is down, clockwise is up. And the way to tell the pressure correctly is you gotta let go of the trigger so the pressure gives you an accurate reading. 400 PSI is for carpet cleaning. And then 800 is for your tile and grout cleaning. All right, here's the heater. It doesn't matter what heater it is. If it's an external heater, it's gonna have a little loop on it like this. And you're gonna take this and plug it into the machine. And then the other end right here is where your pressure hose goes. It plugs in here. And the end of the other pressure hose end goes to your machine.